Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to another episode of Degen Hours. It is
Welcome back.
short recap time of the one eventful game. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of eventful games in week 0, but there was only one with playoff impact.
Any stakes at all.
Yeah. So the Georgia Tech Florida State game, Mario and I, we tried our best. We tried
really
our
did.
best
Really
to
did.
tell you guys about DJ.
Yeah.
I mean, DJ, the avatar, anytime the lights are on, whenever the cameras shine, whenever people are in the stands, he falls. He
vanishes.
He does.
I
Honestly,
lost a lot
I was
of
kind of
money on that
impressive. I was impressed with him because the coach didn't even let him fall apart. They didn't even let him throw the ball.
Yeah.
DJ was 19 of 27 for 193 yards. At halftime, he averaged negative 0.1 air yards per attempt.
Yeah.
So on average, his throws were backwards,
Yeah.
which was insane.
A lot of screens.
It was really insane.
Hey, throws a tight spiral on those screens.
They
Let me
love
tell
to.
you.
FSU, to recap the game, rushed 31 times for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Georgia Tech, 36 carries, 190 yards, 3 touchdowns. Completely
pretty good.
controlled the line of scrimmage when everyone said FSU's D-line was going to be like the thing. They're like, oh, their defense super. No, Georgia Tech
without
just
Jared
walked
versus
over them,
Brandon
ran the ball every single play. So I want to kind of open it up. How did you guys feel about the game? What does this mean for FSU?
I think it's not. It depends on where they rank them. I saw a couple early rankings that they're still at like 16, 17, which I mean, if it's like that, they still have an easy chance, in my opinion, to make the college football playoff. They have work to do, but I just think if they're ranking them, they should be lower, in my opinion, if with this bout of a loss.
Unranked.
I'm close to unranked, like 24th area. I still am not off the
45.
I'm not off the DJ train. I think it was coach.
Train crashed a long time ago.
I think it was. I think it was
hopped off
coached
the
terribly.
second half.
I think it was coached terribly.
Conductor's been drinking.
I think it was coached terribly. I think that he had negative air yards and plays that were screens, quick passes. Yeah, you might not think he's good enough to do it, and that's the joke, but you still have to give him the chance to do it. If he throws 3 picks in the first half, run the ball every play in the second half. He did not really make mistakes because he wasn't given the chance to play. And at the end of the game, when he did have to get like the 4th and 8s, the 4th and whatever's, the plays, he was kind of getting them done. I just think that he wasn't given the chance to prove. I think he's better than what it looked like. But Florida State as a whole just looked like they're not hitting the
Horrendous.
mouth. And Georgia Tech is underrated. We've been saying this. I fell on the wrong trap of it. It was a weird game, but week 0 was electric.
Yeah, Mike, how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I actually completely agree with you, Ryan, in the sense that the coaching of FSU showed zero confidence in DJ. And if your coaching doesn't have any confidence in you, you're not going to have any confidence in the field. And that's obviously reflected in the play calling. With that being said, I am opposite of you in that I hopped off that train, the DJ train. I kind of feel like if the coaching staff, the people who are with him for months and months off season, so close to them, and they decide that this really isn't our guy
Run the ball on 3rd and 9.
on
Down
a very pivotal game, like your season opener in a conference, like within the conference, like
Conference week 0 loss is also a huge thing.
Massive.
That's a good point because this makes it very, very, very difficult for them to go to the conference title game. They have to basically run the table.
well,
If they lose that game to Clemson, I think it's going to be nearly impossible for them because they're going to lose the tiebreaker to Clemson and they need another team to lose like 3 games essentially in conference to get in to the conference final. So I think this makes their road very tough. Yeah, they could still make the playoffs, but I think they need to really. I mean, that team we watched last week is not making the playoffs.
No.
0% chance.
no.
They need to look different too.
Yeah.
But what'd you see when you were watching?
I mean, all I saw was exactly what I said, just complete control by Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that plus 350 was nice to start the year.
It was
That felt
pretty
good.
nice.
That felt really good.
There was a take a year ago on this podcast, if you guys remember that. Florida State would not be relevant by the end of the season, unranked even. That take was just a year early.
A year early.
This is the year.
Boom.
End of the year, Florida State won't be relevant.
probably correct.
Yeah.
That's not true either. That's crazy.
No, I'm actually with you on that. I think it's really hard when you have a team of 17 transfers
Yep.
in
Yeah.
their starting units out of the starting 22, 11 on each side. 17. That number is so crazily unsustainable unless you have some insane chemistry, like all the transfers were from the same school or something. But yeah, I mean they built something. Like they were building for years with Jordan Travis,
Yeah.
Keon Coleman. I mean Keon Coleman was a transfer, but they had Johnny Wilson and like all those guys, Trey Benson. and like they built a culture and a program, and all of them are gone.
Yeah.
They all went to the draft. So this is not the same team. And Georgia Tech, I agree. I think very slept on team. They have the 4th hardest schedule in all of college football this year. Their schedule is insane. So I'm not saying they're like, a playoff team, but when teams are now going up against Georgia Tech, I think people are going to start looking twice at those spreads and those numbers, because this is probably a top half of the ACC school.
Yeah.
No, they're not like a walk around team. But
Really quick, when I was making my notes for this kind of segment, I kind of came to a conclusion that I feel like Georgia Tech has an equal opportunity to make the ACC championship as FSU does. And the only reason I say that is because when I looked at Georgia Tech's schedule, I gave them an automatic loss against Georgia, which is their last week in week 11.
yeah, it's not
And
conference
then
though.
it's out of conference. So, I mean, I guess that does help a little bit, but their 2 tough games are Notre Dame week 7 and then week 9 Miami.
Notre Dame's not a conference game either.
I'm saying there's only one conference game there.
So then, I mean, do you think that their odds to make the ACC championship are greater than FSU?
No, for sure not.
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't have their schedule up in front of me. I just know they have the 4th hardest overall schedule. So like even when you're playing those type of teams, you're going to be pretty beat down. And like the games against the NC States of the world and the
And
Miamis
unranked North Carolina.
yeah, those
unranked.
games get a little harder. Virginia Tech, those ones.
Yeah.
But no, I think FSU has a better percentage chance. That's why the odds reflect that. But I don't think either of these teams are that fantastic.
Yeah.
Which it was kind of nice to see DJ from a Clemson point of view just not be
Yeah,
wrong.
you got your
It
that
felt
was
good.
fun.
It
The
you
felt
got the
memes
good.
were
satisfaction of it.
But yeah, there you have it. Just want a quick recap on that. We have college football week 1 coming
Get
up
ready, baby.
this Thursday. So if you're watching this on Tuesday, go ahead, get locked in for the week. Look at all the bets.
Do
and
it.
then
Look at it.
get ready to go ahead and watch week 1 on Thursday. We'll see you then.
Woo! Bang.